Teach an old dog new tricks.com. More than 40 hours of free computer training. Sit, stay, and learn. Thank you. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. This is Tony Hollowitz, and I want to thank you for being here for this QuickBooks tutorial. In this tutorial, we have been working in QuickBooks for a while now, and I just want to show you some ways you can get around the screen rather easily. In other words, you don't always have to use your mouse to move around. To illustrate that, we're working in an invoice, and what I'm going to do is I'm just going to type in one of the companies we have in here, the ABC company. Now, move to the next field, a lot of times what I see people do is they'll click in that field, and you can do that. There's nothing wrong with that. But as you get going working in QuickBooks, a lot of times it's nice just to be able to do things via the keyboard. So one of the most standard things you can do is you can use the Tab key to move on to the next field, which in this case is template. I'm going to hit the Tab key again and go down to the date field. Now the date field is something that I really want you to take away some of the shortcuts related to dates in this tutorial, because this is really the main, or one of the main parts of doing this tutorial. When you're working with a date, if you want to go to today's date, all you have to do is hit the letter T for today. Obviously we're on today's date, so I'm going to ignore that for right now. But let's say we want to go backwards in the date. Well, on my keyboard, on the number pad, I can use the minus key, and by hitting it once or twice or holding it down, I can go backwards. The plus key goes forward, so I'm hitting the plus key right now. Now to illustrate getting back to today's date, I'm going to hit the letter T on my keyboard, and it takes us right back to today. So again, I'm going to hit the Tab key to move on from this. Actually, no, let me illustrate a couple more points here. If we want to go the first day of the month, we hit the letter M for month. If we want to go the last day of the month, keep in mind, when you spell the word month, it ends with the letter H. So I'm going to hit the letter H, and it's going to go to the last day of the month. If I want to go the first day of year, I'm going to hit the letter Y for year. Again, using the idea of taking the last letter of the word year, I'm going to hit the letter R, and it's going to go to the last day of the year. So Y is the first, R is the last. M is the first day of the month, H is the last day of the month. So just some keyboard shortcuts that you might want to know about. Again, I've been talking about the Tab key by going field to field. There's a couple other ways you can move around. If you want to go backwards, you can hold the Shift key down and then hit Tab, and you'll go backwards. Another way you can go backwards is on your keyboard you have arrow keys, up and down arrow keys. And I'm going to be hitting the down arrow key. Now what happens is when we get to fields that have more than one line in it, it will go through those lines first. So right now I'm just using the down arrow key to show you what can happen. If I hit the up arrow key, it just goes in reverse. So there are some ways you can get around QuickBooks quite easily that will make life easier, especially if you don't want to take your hands off the keyboard to go reach for the mouse. And I find a lot of people that work in QuickBooks a lot, that's just a distraction. So here's some simple tips. There are other keyboard shortcuts that you can also use that we'll address in a different tutorial, but I just want to at a minimum show you these for now. My name is Tony Hollowitz, and I want to thank you for being here. Have a great day.